Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Teach, Sleep, Repeat. My name is Dylan.
And my name's Hayden.
And this week, we have got your submissions of the worst, most unhinged, crazy, red flag rules that toxic schools have laid down and forced you to follow. There's some crazy ones here.
They are absolutely mad, and plenty that I've never even heard of in my time in teaching before as well. So do stick around for them.
Guys, let's dive straight into it. And if you like what you're hearing, you can leave us a review wherever you get your podcast and share it with a teacher friend. Let's do this. In our experience of, being primary school teachers for 20 years between us, having worked in a breadth of schools, we can attest to the fact that there are some policies out there, some rules from the top down onto teachers that are insane. And I'd go as far to call them, like we're going to go through today, red flags.
Yeah, we've been there. We've worked in multiple schools ourselves. And at the time, I might not have been able to identify some of those red flags, but with experience, you can look back and go, hang on a minute. And one of the big reasons we do this podcast is because we want to say to you guys, whether it's from us or from other people, oh, by the way, this is a massive red flag. And you might want to avoid this when you're looking at schools, or you might want to call this out at your school if it's your first school. It's hard to know, isn't it? So yeah, it's very personal to us, and I'm very excited to talk about it.
It always strikes me as bizarre. Like, we're just thinking about, before we go into all the details of all the ridiculous things you guys have sent into us, I think it's important to think about like how this even comes about. How can you have schools, all following the same curriculum, all having the same goals, even maybe on the same street sometimes, where one of them has really high staff turnover, ridiculous draconian rules from the top down, because I know you have to do this, you have to do that. And then another school seemingly doesn't have that kind of environment where teachers are trusted a bit more and there's less of these kind of really strict regimes, but both have decent outcomes. How does that end up happening? Like, why do we even get into a position where people think these red flags, these ridiculous rules are good?
It's just people, isn't it? It's just a personality thing. It is people, unfortunately, in my opinion, that make it to these positions of power and abuse it. I'm sure there's more. We can probably think of more slightly different avenues as to why that happens, but ultimately that is what it is. It is someone in a position of power abusing that position of power. Sometimes I think it's passive. I think they don't even realize they're doing it. Right. Maybe we can talk about that a bit more in a minute.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think they're very much actively being like, no, I'm in charge. I know this will have negative impacts in this and this way, but I think that the outcome to the children or the outcome to my school or my image sometimes is worth it. And they make that decision knowing it's going to be on a podcast later with us talking about saying there's a red flag.
Yeah, because I see some of the rules that I see, right? And I think I can't imagine anyone in their right mind thinks that this is something that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely can't fathom it. Whereas some of them I think, I get where we're going.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand where you're off to there. But I really, really, really struggle with some choices that leaders make as to what on earth they're thinking. And I want to make this really clear now, because we have everyone listen from teachers that are new, experienced, SLT members, people that have just gone into the role, experienced leaders. We've got MAT leaders, MAT CEOs who literally listen to the podcast and reach out and talk to us. And what I hope happens when we go through this and we have this discussion is that what I'd like to think is those leaders who aren't like this cringe along with us. Instead of thinking, these guys always go after leaders, it's such a shame, or why are they so negative? No. I'm negative about people who deserve to be negative about. Like, if you come up with a ridiculous rule that impacts your staff negatively and causes their workload to increase, or their anxiety to increase, and they feel rubbish about themselves, but it's because you wanted an extra slide at the weekend done, I think you're a bad person. And I hope other leaders listening go, oh yeah, that is bad actually, that should be called out. And we should be able to have a discussion about why it's wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And something we often say, more behind the scenes, and we should say it more out here, is we do not think everyone's like this. In fact, if anything, we make it quite clear, I hope, that the vast majority of leaders are literally not like this.
Yeah.
And there are even a huge category that we're kind of getting onto here of leaders that, yeah, they might make decisions that you can look at and think, what on earth are they doing there? But they actually had the best of intentions and they genuinely think they're helping. Like, they have completely convinced themselves this is a good decision for this reason, and maybe there's an oversight. And you might look at that and be like, well, that's, creating a toxic culture.
Sure.
Even that is different to me than the kind of people you're talking about there, where we can all cringe and be like, what on earth?
Narcissistic.
Yeah,
behavior.
and because they do exist. Yeah. And we can't just pretend they don't, just because it hurts people's feelings sometimes. They do exist. So I'm sorry, but we're gonna call it out. So yeah.
The answer is to not pretend it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, that's just not a way that I want to live my life. Anyway, this all came about because someone messaged us, and I know you do nothing for the podcast, but we get a stream of messages now from listeners. And yeah, you wouldn't know, would you? Because you don't do anything for the podcast, as we've established. We get a stream of messages from people, and my goodness me, keep them coming in. And people like come to us sometimes. I feel like an agony aunt sometimes. I'm like, okay, it's interesting, but I want to hear these things. And someone mentioned they're a newish teacher. They've just gone into the job, and they were like, they brought in this rule. It seems a bit odd and bizarre. So this is where this all started. Someone said a school had banned shoes with laces for their staff. You're not allowed to wear shoes that have laces anymore.
You must have read that wrong.
No, that was genuine. And I questioned it, and I said, and then this person said, yeah, an actual quote from SLT on this was, laces are unprofessional.
What would we wear? What would I wear? I tell you what, right now, I've never worn a shoe.
Yeah.
That doesn't have laces on it in my work.
Mate, it's unprofessional. Don't we talk about?
What are they talking about?
What
would I wear? What is Velcro more professional? Yeah, what am I going to wear? Genuinely.
Right. So this is one of those. This is one of those points, right? This is one of those points where I thought to myself, I can't even think of the thought train that someone might have gone down. Maybe I think, oh, the outcome's bad, but I get their thought train. They're thinking this. I can't even fathom that.
I can.
Go on.
If there were no male teachers,
right?
Because I feel like women's shoes,
right?
Like you can have there's lots of professional variety that I don't have laces on.
Okay.
Whereas, so it might have been that they were like, oh, if it's all female members of staff, which does happen in teaching, they might have been thinking, oh, some people are wearing trainers and we don't want them to wear trainers.
Right, okay.
So if we say no laces, they'll have to wear different...
Just say no trainers.
I know, that's mad to me. Yeah, exactly. I can't get on that bit. I don't know why they came to the conclusion no laces are unprofessional.
They come undone sometimes and we just can't have that.
Getting Ofsted next week and a bloke walks through from Ofsted and he's wearing like sliders. And they're like, see?
You've been graded exemplary on your sketches.
Soldier. Yes.
Where are your plimsolls?
That is nuts. That is actually nuts.
Well, that's what prompted me, and I thought, I thought we'd seen it all, right? That's honestly where I thought about this, like this kind of red flag stuff. We've done a lot of episodes previously about toxic schools and rules and stuff. I thought I'd seen it all.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I'll do a post. So I posted something on our Instagram at Teach Sleep Beat Podcast. You can go and follow us right now. And that posted kind of simultaneously on Facebook as well. There's cross posting. And we got like hundreds of comments. And I thought, oh, brilliant. Let's have a look through. And halfway through, I remember messaging you saying, okay, this is our next podcast episode because they were absolutely insane. And I think we're going to go through some. So this is going to be the bulk of this episode. We're going to talk about red flags teachers have written into us about their school, ridiculous rules they've had to follow. But I think we need some kind of system where we can rank them because, like I said, I think there's a difference, right? I think we should have some where we think, do you know what? We might disagree with it, but it's fine. It's not even a red flag.
Okay.
We should have like a yellow flag almost, right?
I'll trust you to make about football. Yellow flag and a red, red card.
Yeah, no. I'm coming to it. I think yellow flag should be like, you know, this is a sign, but like fine, but wonder what's going on.
Like those ones where it's like you can kind of see that maybe they had a good intention. They've just not really thought about it, and they've a bit of an oversight. Yeah. Maybe even the lace one. It might be a bit like that could have been a manager where you talk to them and they're like, oh yeah, what am I talking about? This is silly.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't know. That might be a bit further up.
I still think lace is red flag. But this is where we're going to have the discussion. But then it goes to red flag, which is just like, do you know what? This is just a red flag. Maybe your school has one or two, you kind of put up with it, but like this is a problem where as a teacher, I would be saying, pushing back and be no.
And if I was looking at a school that had a red flag, not a yellow flag, but had a red flag, I would then be really like considering, like reconsidering whether there's a place I want to work in. Yeah. Whereas a yellow flag might be a bit more like, okay, I'll keep an eye out on this, try and change the policy. But
right,
but
then I think that I think even with red flags, I do think you can work in a really, really good school that you get on with and it's nice. And they can still have a couple of them.
I agree.
So there has to be like another level. Like I don't know what we'd end up calling it.
Well, there's no more football terms.
Yeah, it's like, what's worse than a red flag? I don't know, like a red roundabout. Let's call it a red roundabout. Yeah, full about flags and roundabouts. Let's have a full-on red roundabout. Big red button. Can't tell what it is.
Red roundabout is you avoid that school. Is that what we're saying? Red roundabout. If there's a red roundabout, you are not touching that school. You're absolutely, your application's gone. You're leaving. You're quitting.
Okay,
that's hilarious.
All right, I think that's what it should be.
All right,
it should be a red roundabout is the kind of thing where you're like
really sensible scale here. Come for some serious content. Teach it, repeat.
It should be genuinely, where you say if there's one red roundabout, you don't work in that school.
Okay, all right.
If there's one or two red flags, like this is a problem, I'll push back. I can.
It's up to you, but you should consider it.
A yellow flag is almost like that's just a professional discussion.
It's so funny that this is what we're up to right now. Yeah, or neutral. If we're basically saying it's not really a red flag, but
not even a flag at all. Yeah, just I'd say white flag, but then you give up and you come full circle. And
maybe it's just like a whistle blow. It's just a whistle blow. There's no
just
flag.
A foul.
Yeah,
it's just a foul. Yeah, just a foul, a yellow card, a red card, a red roundabout.
Do we get a free kick? Can we implement that somehow?
No, we need to get started. This is nonsense.
I don't watch football.
No, not at all. Did the player do an offside? Oh, red roundabout for you.
Typical Rooney. Right.
Okay, so we've already put the laces one. We're gonna typical Rooney.
Just wait for that.
I love how I'm going to do it now very quickly.
Okay, go on.
I'm going to ask you to name 5 footballers.
Oh, God.
They will exclusively be footballers from the noughties.
Yeah,
Just
Michael
when you
Owen.
were a kid.
He's the one I always think of. If someone says pick a footballer, Owen's there, locked in. I don't watch
A
football.
wonder
Just
kid
to
from
really
the late
clarify.
90s. Yeah.
Michael Owen, Beckham.
Yep.
Rooney.
Yep.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more. Gary Lineker. He's something to do with football, right?
Yeah, he is.
Was he a footballer once?
He was a
Oh, that's
footballer.
good.
Very good footballer. Then became host.
Yeah, Walker's man.
Oh my God! Right. Okay. So as we said, let's move
Yeah.
on then to actually what you've written in, and we'll discuss them because some of these are insane. Okay. Starting off.
Yep.
Not allowed to eat anywhere except the dining room shared with the students. Not even in the staff room. Drinks only allowed in the staff room or dining room. I once got an email from HR because they checked the bins at the end of the day and found celebration wrappers in my bin, which I'd given to my team at the end of the day.
I'm zooming around that roundabout.
Round and
roundabout.
This is a mini roundabout where I go straight over it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the roundabout's great. Or turn around and go back home. Whatever the analogy is, roundabout's great. It's either a red flag or a roundabout.
It's red roundabout.
It's right up there.
If I was walking around a school
What?
and they said, by the way, no food. Yeah, unless you're like
Not only would you be eating a Whisper Gold at that time, 90% chance of that happening, you would be gutted.
How else will I eat 4 cheese and onion Walkers bags of crisps in one day?
Yeah, that is mad to me though. Like, what do you mean? The staff rooms are literally for that. It's a safe place.
And what on earth are HR up to with their time that they have the ability to go and check a bin for a
bins.
celebration wrapper?
Oh my God.
Insane.
The idea that after school as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, checked after school. Wait a minute. Whoa. There's a bounty in there. How on earth could you have fulfilled your role as a teacher?
can you just imagine a picture of it's 5 p.m.
Right.
and there's just one person sat in the dinner hall. There's no kids there, obviously, at this point, eating his celebrations. Oh, I can't eat in my classroom. Just what?
I've come here for my Whisper Golds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's mad. I'm going to move on to another
go on,
one.
go
We've got loads to battle for.
Yeah. There'll be some I think that might spark more of a discussion.
Exactly.
That's just like
Yeah, it's just madness.
getting the red roundabout bin.
For displays, we had to back the children's work on card with a 1 centimetre border on each. SLT would spot check and go round with a ruler and check and give us a board report with grading for different aspects of our displays.
No, you're joking.
With a ruler.
A board report.
Yeah.
A board report.
Board report.
Have you got nothing better to do with your
mad.
time than to go around with a ruler, measure backings, and go back to your computer? Maybe maybe it would be a red flag, right? If you went round, measured it with a ruler, turn around to the person in the room watching you, think, what the earth is this guy doing? I'm just measuring your backing, actually. 0.8 centimeters. That's bad. You got to fix that. That's a red flag. A red roundabout is going back to your desk and writing a bloody report about it.
It's mad, isn't it? I think that's just a red flag to me. That's just a red flag. I'm reserving the red roundabout. I don't want to be using it. I don't use it in the first 2 already.
True. I've
Crikey,
really ruined this whole scale, haven't we?
Yeah, everything is around. We have to get another one now. What's after? No, we're not doing it.
No.
We're not doing it. But I think, every single one of these, I'm going to really, really try so hard to basically be devil's advocate and also just try and think, can I imagine what was going through there?
Well, I've tried.
No, I can't.
I have tried already.
Look, I think some schools, rightfully,
Go on.
are worried about what their school looks like. There's a certain image to the school. I think
Sure.
you can have a sense of, we don't want our school to look like trash. Do you know what I mean? We
Okay.
can have it. So I can see there is a scale. There's a line somewhere where it's acceptable to say, yeah, well, obviously a school can pull its staff up on if the school looks absolutely dreadful.
But for displays, can they? Because it's not even my job.
I don't know.
It's not even part of my job. Like we've talked about this a million times. The act of putting up and down displays and making things look pretty is nice, but it's not my job.
All right, okay. So they've come into your classroom and you've put on your display a massive Whisper Gold.
Mate, there's no display.
Right. One of them's blank, and then the one next to it, you've got the kids to make a big collage of a Whisper Gold, and you've just stuck it up, and irrelevant to anything you're doing. Can you say, well, it's not in my job to do displays, you can't tell me what to put on there and what to take down?
No, because you've done the job in that respect. If you're going to do the display, you should be within some rules and boundaries. I think that's fine.
1 centimetre borders?
No, listen. Fine. If you say to the staff, right, I'm not going to force you to do displays because it's not your job. However, lots of you like doing displays and think it's helpful for the children,
So
etc.
here are some
So here are
guidelines.
some guidelines that you
Right.
have to follow. I still think that would be like a yellow flag, right?
Mhm.
But at least then it's like, well, I've chosen to do this display. It's still within my remit of choosing. Okay, obviously the content, it can't be whisper gold, and maybe some extra bits in there about how wide the border is. I'd be like, look, I've chosen to do this, so I'm going to work within your remit. That's fine.
Yeah.
If you're forcing staff to do it and then reporting on everyone
Yeah.
these ridiculous rules, I guess what I'm saying here is, would I quit the school? I guess not. So maybe it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, because all I would do is not quit, but I'd just not do it.
You'd be pushing back. On the
I'd be
policy.
pushing back. I'd be like saying, no, this is ridiculous. This is a red flag. Like, you can't enforce this. It's nonsense. Here's the contract. Here's the reason why. Here's my union rep saying I shouldn't even be doing displays in the first place.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make me quit.
Getting a bit.
Whereas if I think if someone said to me, you can't eat, like that person, and they were looking at bins,
Yeah.
I think I'd put my notice in.
No.
So
fair
maybe
enough.
that's the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's
red
interesting.
flag. What about you?
Red. Yeah. I'm happy with that. Red flag. We've decided. Don't worry, guys. We have spoken.
Gosh, right. Next one. Told by the head of secondary, what is your agenda in telling people that you are mixed race? Don't say that. It confuses them.
What? That's not even like.
I don't feel like I can even joke about it being a red roundabout.
No, like that's like that to me. I don't know what this is, but that doesn't even like fit with this.
Right.
This is like
Who are you talking to?
harassment. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't even know what the word is.
Yeah.
It's just like horrible.
Yeah. Insane. Like,
That's madness.
like genuinely actually racist.
yeah, I'm like, I almost want to say, oh, it's a red flag. It's
No,
nothing
no,
to do with that.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
might have one of the
Trivialises
two
it.
of them.
That's what
it
I mean.
does.
Yeah.
That's just like straight up. I would probably be going to whatever department I need to go to
Yeah.
log that as a
Yeah,
literal
HR
official
the ones
complaint.
who said it probably.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, mental.
Can you read that to me again?
Yeah. Genuinely, the head of secondary, what's your agenda in telling people you're mixed race? Don't say that. It confuses them. There's so much to unpick there. Number one, the fact it's assumed as an agenda to talk about literally who you are.
Yeah.
And secondly, that it would confuse children.
Yeah. What's confusing
What?
about it?
Yeah, and it's not. But even if it was confusing, so
Yeah.
talk about it.
I don't know. That one's weird. I'm literally not going to give that a flag because I
Yeah,
think
no,
that
no.
I just think that's disgusting that
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
could
yeah.
even say that to another human being, almost out of the context of school.
Yeah.
Really, here I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
literally. Who do you think you are? Like,
Yeah,
why
that's
are
it.
you talking to me like that?
Yeah, it's separate to like, oh, how are school functions? Oh gosh, we got deep here.
Yeah, Christ.
Get out of that place.
that's just literally disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I'm not going to add any more to that.
No.
I'll move on to another
Go
one.
on.
I was told by senior management that if I fall ill again on Friday, my leave will reflect 3 days: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh my god! When you started reading that, I thought to myself, oh, it'll be one of those things where if I'm ill on the Friday again, I'll be put into a disciplinary. I'll be dragged into a meeting
Yeah,
because
yeah,
isn't it
it's a
convenient?
pattern.
They always be ill on a Friday, a long weekend. And I was ready to be like, oh, red flag. If you are like, I don't understand. Does this mean that
your leave will reflect 3 days?
yeah, like is that like, oh, and you only get 5 days before we start the procedure of disciplinary, or we dock you this amount of pay, like
Yeah.
because only a certain amount of pay you get paid, sick pay you get actual paid, isn't it? And then after a certain amount of time, you have to go into like nothing or even statutory.
Yeah, I'm not
like,
really sure. I'm not
there's
exactly sure it
basically
works, but
levels,
there's levels,
where
yeah.
after a certain amount of time, obviously you'd get less money.
Yeah.
So basically, this person's saying, I'm going to count Saturday
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna ramp
Sunday
it
as
up.
sick days. Sorry, I forgot Saturday and Sunday was a work day.
Yeah.
Are you insane? Like,
Yeah,
it sounds to me, right? Some of these, we had a comment basically as well. This is interesting. Some of these, we talked about the last couple. Like, people are like, a bunch of these comments are just against employment law. Like, it's literally illegal.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with this
and
one.
that's what I think with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this sounds literally illegal to do.
Yeah, is it a red flag when schools ignore like basic human rights and employment law? Like, kind of always, really.
Right. And is it a red flag, or does that trivialize it? Is it just actually, this isn't like a red flag. This is going, oh, my bloody displays are too thick.
Oh, yeah,
It's
mad.
like, you fundamentally can't do that to another human being, and you are honestly a piece of work.
Yeah,
if
you
think that's okay.
You're abusing your power there. You're abusing the law. You're abusing your power. Yeah, whatever.
completely.
Madness. So hopefully you guys are as shocked as we've only read a couple so far,
I know,
and we
but-
were just gobsmacked.
This next one was one I've never seen before, and
Ooh.
I thought of you actually when I read this, genuinely, and me as well. But like, I know what you're like with the kids. After I left a school, they put in a rule that you were not allowed to use any terms of endearment or nicknames for students, and members of staff were meant to report others to HR if they heard them doing it.
No, oh my, I'd be screwed at this school. For context, I think
How dare you show some niceness and kindness and
Literally,
endearment to the children?
I would say by the end of the year, 100% of the children in my class have some sort of nickname or silly thing between us. Just some endearing thing between us, and usually a nickname.
No, I don't think so anymore. You can't possibly do that. That's unprofessional. By the way, you're wearing laces. You're wearing laces whilst you're doing a time of endearment to the children.
I'm sorry. I have to leave this school, aren't I?
I had a child once who, like all year round, came into school with like a beanie, like a big beanie. No matter if it was hot or cold, just had this beanie on.
Oh, right.
And it was like a big wide one, big chunky one like that. Just just to think of like a winter's hat, just a standard winter's hat. And so I started calling them Mush. Can you get the link at all?
No,
it's like Mush.
I know that nickname, but I don't know why.
No, Mush means like mate. It's like a thing.
Right, yeah.
But I called him Mush because the joke was it looked like a mushroom. Do you know, like Toad?
I see. Okay.
Do you know, like Toad from Mario,
right.
where like it just like give out this like toadstool thing.
So you made it more abstract. You didn't go Mush.
Yeah, so I called him Mushroom for a while. I was like, all right, Mushroom, like that. And he found it really funny, and it was endearing. It was nice. It was funny. And then the next day he'd come in and be like, Mushroom, yeah. And then it went to Shroom, went to Mush. Like we played around with it.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Like in what world, really? Like
you're bullying my child.
Yeah. Like am I?
Sorry, am I?
Yeah, I know. And it's just like I get it, because I reckon there are definitely times where teachers say something genuinely with no ill intention whatsoever, but that might be taken the wrong way by a child. Like maybe that child really loved that hat and felt hurt that I said such a thing. I'd like to think that I wouldn't have done that if I knew that child would react in that way.
That's the thing, isn't it? Is knowing the children. Yeah. And do you know what? In that school, probably that's exactly what happened. I bet you in that school, someone had an for kid and they were just being silly. They were maybe being sarcastic, doing jokes they normally do with all the kids. But this particular kid, it just went a bit too far and they got offended by it. And they didn't like it.
And maybe a parent has come
in and
said,
complained and said, well, the teacher said this. They didn't really like it. They want to come into school the next day. So the school has just gone a bit like, okay, over the top. And they've said, right, we're no longer allowed to do this.
So we can see the thought train a bit more of this one,
So
right?
to me, that's a yellow flag.
Right. Okay.
With the idea that I'd like to think that I could just talk to the SLT and just get behind as to what's happened to make them want to do this. And maybe they give me a really good reason. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, okay, for the year, we actually just need to really think about this.
I think that's a really good way of thinking about it, because I think you can conflate sometimes your intentions and how you do stuff with like, okay, you do sometimes need to think of the wider impact and like rules as a whole just to avoid this problem. If SLT and school had run into this problem a few times, maybe they're just like, do you know what? Let's just get rid of that to avoid it. It's a shame, I think, because it's a nice part of, I think, the relationships you can build. But okay, let's call it, I want a yellow flag. I'm with you on that.
Nice one. Next one. Having to throw the crusts from loaves of bread, which students wouldn't eat, into the bin rather than let staff eat them at breakfast club. SLT actually came and checked it had been done.
What is this thing with checking bins?
Yeah, I know. It's two now.
Who's got time to go and check bins to make sure small rules have been enforced?
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine? So let me just explain this so I know I understand this correctly. Yeah. There are people running breakfast club.
Yeah.
Some kids say, "Oh, I'll have that, but I don't want the crusts."
Yeah, they want the end. They don't want the end of the bread. Okay, the end of the loaves.
Right. Okay. So you think, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So instead of throwing it away, a teacher goes, "Oh, I'll just have some butter on that, and maybe make a little thing, toast it." Yeah. And the school is saying no, and I will check.
Has to go in the bin.
Why?
I don't know. That's one I can't think about. I'm trying to think about, like, is it some sort of the schools bought it, so we can't just let some staff take advantage of eating a bit of bread?
What?
I don't know. I literally can't.
Can you imagine being another teacher going, you use me.
I didn't get any bread.
I didn't get any bloody bread. I didn't get any. Give me my crust. We have to split it 32 ways. Thank you very much. People throw it away.
I think we haven't considered, what if the school's run by ducks? Sometimes you got to think outside the box.
It's actually, HR is just a mallard, right? In human clothing. No one's worked it out yet. No one's worked out what's going on. But it just comes like bin. Bin. Put that in bin.
And they happen to be the person clearing the bins at the end of each day. And I happen to have not seen that bread end up anywhere else afterwards. So I do wonder what's happening. Yeah, that's madness.
Shouldn't feed ducks bread. Bad for the stomach.
Is it?
They bloody love it, but it's bad for them. So that HR, not only is it silly.
There's just twists and twists in this story, isn't there?
You know, right? Maybe that's why the ducks found out it's bad for the tummy. They're saying, no, you can't eat it. It's bad for your stomach. Throw it away.
Yeah.
Throw it away. I know. I've been
sick of this.
My previous job when I was pond supervisor, I ate all the spare bread that was left behind, and my tummy was a wreck. Don't do it.
You guys don't realise, but I'm doing you a solid here.
You got to throw it away.
Oh my god! But in all seriousness, back to reality. Is that it's either a yellow or a red? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's probably a yellow again,
yeah,
like where it's mad. Like. Okay,
it's not really impacting my job.
Yeah, but I think what it does do is sometimes these yellow flags, again, if they build up, like 2 yellows make a red, everyone knows that. if these yellows build up, to me, it's indicative of a way of treating your staff.
Exactly, yeah. That's
so it's like, okay, what else do they do? That's what I'd be thinking. If you're that like reducctive on, prescriptive on like what you've got to do in that respect.
Yeah,
I
what
can
other
only
things?
imagine what your lesson planning is
That's
like.
exactly it, isn't it? And red flags are just more severe examples
Exactly.
of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very good one. So, yeah. Over to you, Dill.
Right, next one. Spending hours making sure each PowerPoint is identical with consistency between year groups. Is there any evidence to show that if a year 6 kid sees a PowerPoint, a different color or font than a year 5, his learning will be affected?
Is there any evidence? No. But can I work it out with common sense? Yes. And the answer is no, it won't make a difference. It won't make any difference whatsoever. It's madness. I feel like, did you write this in?
Yeah, I know. This is insane. And then we had someone reply, which was my exact thought process.
Oh, go on.
So someone replied to that saying, we had to spend our own time transferring our lessons already completed into the new format. Only difference was a logo and a different font. And most SEN kids struggled to read that font.
Oh my God. Let me guess. It was a cursive font?
Potentially, yeah.
Joined up font?
Insane. Because it's just a classic example of, to me, that is a red flag, by the way. I can even still think of the thought processes down, honestly. I really can, because I understand why consistency might be seen as a really powerful thing from the top.
Yeah.
Because you want to drag people up who you might not trust as much. And you say, well, okay, look, if everyone's just at least at this baseline, that's going to be better for my team. I can understand why someone says, okay, this background color is better than neon pink, right?
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
of course
sure.
it is. Or this font is better than, Dingbat.
Yeah.
The Dingbat font, which is like,
easier to
I've
read.
got a picture of a bird instead of an A. That's clearly bad, okay? But like being so prescriptive the other way, I think is so bad and such a waste of time. And like this person explained, when the genuine only difference you're asking your staff to do is to copy things that already exist and are already good lessons, because they already have the pedagogy built into them, where there is some retrieval and some paired practice and some independent tasks and some teacher talk and I do, we do, you do, but it just doesn't have it labeled in the corner, or it just doesn't have the school logo in the top right. Who cares? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
that's so low stakes.
To me, it's the yellow flag, because I think if I was in a school that did that, and I think it's quite normal, by the way, like I've worked in schools that have done that, I would be annoyed about it, but I'd get over it and I'd just do it. But I just think it's a massive oversight. I think SLT have put more importance on something that they think is important because they're not maybe in front of the class or whatever. And actually, in reality, it's just not that important, and there's just not been a discourse about it. It's a yellow flag to me, not a red, but it would annoy me a lot because it's a waste of my time. Yeah,
completely. And there's also this embedded idea, I think, that runs from this. A lot of these red flags, I guess my mind is going to, what does it mean as a wider context? It feels to me as if in that case, it's also like, oh, well, we've already got all the lessons. They're already good. But we can't possibly have teachers not do any planning all year. Oh my gosh, we need to use that time. You have to be doing something. And it's like this idea that we couldn't possibly just pick up lessons we've got from last year is, I think, an inherent trait in a lot of red flag schools where it's like, no, that's automatically bad. I'm like, no, it's not. If the lesson is good and all you want them to do is put on a logo, you've just got to ask yourself, like, is that a good use of my professional's time?
Yeah, no. It's a very indicative of a wider cultural problem, isn't it, in the school, which is why I can understand you're thinking red flag, because it's a huge hint.
Sure.
You'll like this one then.
Cool.
You can't drink cups of tea in a staff meeting in case it disturbs the head teacher from what they're saying.
No, that's not
That's
real.
Someone's written it in.
They must work with you, thinking about it. Has anyone listening to this heard Aiden drink? I think they might have, because whenever you drink, the whole street hears it, mate.
Yeah, that head teacher actually has got a policy against me drinking in any other school in the area because they can hear it.
I actually genuinely think you should drink some of that drink right now
No,
on
I'm
this
not
podcast.
doing it.
Drink it. Go on.
Okay.
Go on, have a drink. It didn't take much.
Okay,
So Hayden's going to
great.
drink now. Wait, listen. Why are you so loud?
I think that was really quiet.
You are so loud. And do you know what's hilarious? I've heard your daughter drink.
She's
Your
even
daughter's
louder.
not even 2, and she drinks as loud as you do. And it's cute and endearing when it's your daughter. When it's a 33-year-old man sat opposite me, and
Doing it
I
as
can
well.
hear the water squelch down his esophagus.
Absolutely. She River, she's picked this up clearly from me.
River's
but
your child.
River's my child. When she finishes
Not
drinking,
a river, because it sounds the same.
True, a river and
The
water.
flow of a river.
Yeah, the flow of a river in my mouth is just...
What should I call my child? Oh, I think River's a good name.
I was really inspired.
I'm inspired by listening to myself drink.
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh, great.
What's your next child we call Stream?
No,
Come here, little drop.
Probably a rather annoying thing I do.
Come here, little squelch.
Squelch. River, squelch.
Normalise naming your kid after how you drink.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for ruining my story. So she, when she finishes drinking, she goes,
Oh, she's got that from you.
And I'm like, we've never taught her to do that, obviously,
No.
because it'd be mad. But I clearly just
Yeah.
make noises
Yeah.
and she's picked it up.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh,
though. It is cute when it's
so
her.
that's a neutral, is it then? Not a red flag at all?
Well, listen, okay, here it is. If it's a school of Hayden and green flag, my goodness me, I can't hear myself stink. When I
Green
see
flag.
Hayden coming with a drink, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Not be able to listen to a bloody
Yeah,
thing
cheers, mate.
all session. Okay, seriously?
Yep.
Honestly? Red flag.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we're saying we're allowing some red flags. It's
Yeah,
not a red
yeah,
roundabout.
yeah.
It's a red flag.
Yeah, true.
It's a red flag if I'm just like, if you think that you can tell someone to not drink a cup of tea in a staff meeting.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
It is genuinely a
Now
red
you put it
flag.
like that.
Yeah.
I was purely thinking about the idea that it's distracting. But
No,
actually, the
yeah.
very concept of saying you can't
Yeah.
have a drink for any reason is
because of
actually
that,
terrible.
and it's like they're not close. They're
Yeah.
not close to being worth the balance. Like
No.
telling someone they can't have a drink in a staff meeting is not worth that you might be distracted every now and then. Get over it. If a sip of tea is distracting you that much, that's your problem,
Yeah,
mate.
I even had to reread it then just to double check. It didn't say like you can't make a cup of tea because I'm like, okay, maybe that would be
Yeah.
distracting. No, literally drink. You can't drink cups of tea.
We've had it before in staff rooms that have like a blender, and like a bullet thing, and it's like, all right, and it's like there's someone else in the corners printing.
Yeah.
It's like,
What do you think about that? Because our school had it was very unofficial policy, but it was just, I guess it was just politeness. Our printer was in the room where we'd have our little morning staff meetings, and it was very much like if you were printing, someone, probably the head teacher, would be like, "Can you just pause that for a minute whilst we're talking?"
I
That's
think
all right,
that's
isn't it?
completely fine.
Yeah.
Because at that point it's like drinking a cup of tea
Yeah.
is not a consistent whirring mechanical noise. Like at most, it's just someone.
Yeah,
Let's
or
get
if it's
on
me,
with it. Yeah. We've established if it's you, it's a different kind of fish.
I reckon
honestly.
it didn't even pick up on the microphone.
It might
'cause
not
I'm
have.
such a quiet.
That's a good point.
quiet
I wonder if
drinker.
it did.
If
Well,
it didn't, if it didn't, you will know because I will have edited in the most
Niagara
obnoxious
Falls.
sound. Yeah. It would have been fake, so don't worry.
Whereas if you did, that's also funny because at this point you know, oh, that wasn't fake.
Yeah, I highly sensitive microphones, by the way, shouldn't pick that up at someone drinking. But, oh man, anyway.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
On to another.
So where are you putting that? Sorry, you agreeing with me? That's a red
Yeah,
flag,
I
yeah.
agree with you. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. This one was crazy. This was from a leader. I quite enjoyed the fact that a leader got in touch as well because we talked about we can get into the whole thing us versus you. It's not like that at all. It's
Sure.
it's non-toxic people versus toxic people, and this sums it up. Someone got told, "You are SLT. You are literally paid not to have a lunch break. You're often here at 8:05," implying that I'm late. And at interview, I was told it's an 8:30 start. Oh my! So before you tell me what flag you think it is, that really stuck with me, and I thought, well, you've got to put that in there because when you go to the leadership scale, the directed time argument goes out the window. Leadership is not covered by directed time.
Yeah.
So when as a teacher, or you're not on the leadership scale, you can say, look, guys, I've looked into this. Directed time is 1265 hours. You're asking me to do much. I'm going to refuse. It's all fair game.
Yeah.
As soon as you step into that leadership role, which I've heard a lot of people have been given the lowest possible leadership range you can get for pay.
But then they've lost all.
But then they've lost all autonomy, and then they end up putting 10 extra hours in a week.
Yeah.
And this is where leaders are completely taken advantage of in toxic schools, and it can affect everyone. That's the point.
Yeah. To me, just the time management thing, the 8:05 thing, that alone is a red flag to me in all like concepts, even just like taken out of this. Any school where the leaders are like really clock watching when you get in and when you leave, particularly when they are just completely reasonable times, like getting in at 8:05 is completely reasonable, and leaving at 4:00 is completely reasonable. And that's something I often see. Oh, they left by 4. Left by 4. Oh, a black mark in the book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That alone makes it a red flag. So to me, that whole thing is like, yeah, red flag. If I worked in a school that did that, I would be really genuinely considering. If there were other red flags, I'd be really thinking about looking for jobs elsewhere.
We had another comment from someone similar talking about the time thing. And this I think this transcends leadership. The problem is with leaders, you can say to them like, "Well, you're not on this time thing anymore. Just get in."
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's like, but even with teachers before, there was one person mentioned how so their contract starts at 8:30, but they normally get in at like 8:10, right? And the same day they got in at 8:10, and they got their stuff ready. They went off to the toilet, and at 7:30, their line manager came around to talk to them, and they weren't there. They were in the toilet. So the line manager went away, person came back, blah, blah, blah. Line manager comes back later and says, "Where were you? 7:30? Why weren't you in?" And she's like, "Oh, I got in at 10 past. I was just in the toilet." And then the line manager said to her, "Okay, cool. Well, next time, make sure you go to the toilet before so that you're in this room at 7:30 so I can come and speak to you if I need to."
I just don't have any words almost like for that.
I
Like
know.
we're all thinking the same thing.
I went to the toilet, you idiot.
Yeah, I did need to wee.
Yeah, well, I might need to talk to you at 7:30, so make sure you're in here. If you need to go to the toilet, go before 7:30, please. Oh, sorry, am I a child in your class?
Yeah.
Which I also, by the way, would think would be
I was going to
draconian.
say, the fact that we already defend like not doing that to kids because it's patronising and ridiculous and it's just a bodily function, doing it to an adult as well, God, just get in the bin.
Insane.
Some people just need to pick themselves up.
Completely insane. Just touching back on then, just to finish off, that with a leader, I do really think there's a lot of that going on where leaders are so taken advantage of by like another level above and another level above, where it's like, well, actually, no, you need to put the work in here. You're on the leadership scale.
Yeah. Imagine teachers didn't have directed time. It's already abused, and even with the system.
Yeah. And then leadership, by definition, should really have more on their plate, right? That's part of the job, right? You're on a high pay scale because even if you don't have more on your plate, you've got a lot more resting on you. Like it's your responsibility. That should be protected even more, I think. Do we want ridiculously burnout leaders for our school?
Yeah. Don't get a lunch break now. Oh, part of the job.
You're literally paid to not have a lunch break. I think that's probably going back into the employment law thing we talked about.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any amount of work or job that you can accept that means you don't get a lunch break.
Yeah.
That sounds like a union issue to me. Red roundabout, bye.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, and we can look this up more, it's not about not having a lunch break at all. It's about the flexibility of it. Right. You don't have we have a guaranteed hour that is our directed lunch break in school. I'm pretty sure of SLT, it's just more of a take it when you want sort of thing. Yeah, not that you can't have lunch at all.
Yeah, a lot of leaders in our schools that we've worked at, brilliant schools, would take their lunch break maybe like 1 till 2. Yeah. Or even 1 till 1:30. Have a short lunch break because it's like,
or even
this works. Yeah, exactly.
If they want to.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's flexibility. Doesn't mean you don't get a lunch break. If you're a leader out there and someone is gaslighting you into thinking you are being paid to not have a lunch break, that is absolutely not what you are being paid to do.
Complete nonsense.
Push back. Where are you putting that? I think maybe red roundabout, because this person said they quit, by the way.
Yeah, when you combine the two things, because it was already a red flag just at the time watching things for me. With the being gaslit into thinking you can't have lunch
because you're a leader.
Nah, yeah, that's red roundabout. I'm out of there. No way. Right, different one. Staff were not allowed to socialise with one another outside of school unless they invited all the other members of staff.
Oh, this old chestnut. This comes up so often. I tell you what.
What's making you ponder?
It's making me ponder because I think this is one example where I do really genuinely understand the train of thought that's gone into this, right? I don't necessarily agree with the outcome. Mm-hmm. I still think it does dip into red flag territory.
Okay.
Because I don't think at any point you should be able to dictate what people do in their social lives.
I agree, yeah.
But all I'm going to say at this is I do understand, because this often comes from, there are situations where schools are quite cliquey. You got your group of mates. The clique can be quite big. Mm-hmm. And there can be some people who do feel marginalised, who do feel excluded.
Left out, yeah.
Do feel left out and maybe are left out of certain events. I just think that's life. I just think you get on with it. I think... it's not nice. It's obviously not nice. I'm not saying it's acceptable even. Maybe have a word. And do you know what you do in that situation, really? If I was a leader in that situation, do you know what I'd do? I'd think, okay, how can I solve this? I can either just put a draconian rule down where I try and control the lives of my teachers outside of school.
Which won't work.
Won't work, and it's just stupid. And what are you going to do? Chase me up because I had dinner with a few mates from school, not everyone.
You legally can't, so...
Yeah, cool. Or do I think... Do you know what I'll do? Obviously, people can do what they want. They're grown adults. What I'll do is I'll just set up, termly event that's
I'll just fire the people that aren't in the clique. That's even worse, Dylan. Don't do that.
No, that's a red roundabout. What I'd say is, just organise like an event for the school, like at the end of the term 1, just have like, hello everyone, I'm organising this. It's a work event. Everyone's invited. Come along, and I'd give opportunities for that to happen still outside of it. But I don't think you can go around telling people how to spend their free time.
No, I don't think so at all. I think we've had a lot of conversations about that line before, about like what should a school leader be able to tell their staff, like what they can do outside of school.
You went Nando's with these 5 people, you need to go with these 8 people.
Yeah, like there's another one, I won't even bother finding it because I can remember it now, but it was about, it was the same sort of thing, and it was basically saying, we're not allowed to be seen like drinking beer outside of school, like in a pub. Like at all, like outside of school.
Not even
at all, just point blank. That was the rule. That was the rule. You're literally not allowed to be seen in a pub drinking beer because it looks unprofessional.
Okay, we do need a new like kind of category here, don't we? Which is just like illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah.
If someone said that to me, I'd laugh.
Yeah.
And then when I realised they're being serious, I'd go, okay, I am going to the pub though.
Yeah.
So,
and to protest, I'd start drinking in school, right? Is that what you do?
That's the only way to go about it, I think. It's the only reasonable thing to do, actually. Have a gin and tonic in the morning.
So what's that? Just crack.
No food in the staff room. Didn't say anything about gin. Just down in the bottle of gin.
You're checking my bins for these cans, are you, Mr. Duck?
Right, there's bread in the bin. That's unacceptable. Bottle tops, fine. Well done.
That's
That is
all
where
right.
they go.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I just think you cannot dictate to people what they're doing in their own social life. I think there's ways around that. If someone said to me, you can't socialize with people from work unless you invite everyone all of the time, I think I'd just carry on doing it. And then maybe it would become a red roundabout issue. But to me, that's just like, that's a red flag.
Yeah, maybe it's a red flag, and it's a red roundabout when they then try and actually pull you up on it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there's a disciplinary action for the weekend.
I see. Actually, you went on the Nando scale and you ordered an exemplary. Oh, sorry, I mean an extra hot.
Oh man, this is just like, I feel like we're losing our minds with these because they're just so mad.
100%, absolutely crazy. Right, now this one actually came up a few times, so I'm very interested in this, and I think it's more of a widespread issue. Do you know, some of the things we talked about have been like, this can only happen in one school, and it's like, how on earth is this going to... This even had some replies saying, isn't this normal? And I was like, wow, surely not. So we were told that our planning had to be handed in by Friday night, and it was then marked by SLT, returned to us on a Sunday afternoon for us to edit before lessons on Monday.
Oh, it's just so bad. It's so bad. It's one of those things where I was like, I just thought we weren't doing that anymore. Yeah. I just thought that was a thing that's gone, like, because it got ridiculed 10 years ago, and it was like, you can't do this.
What? Okay, just as if it's not obvious. Yeah. Why is that just ridiculous?
Okay, because we don't work at the weekends. We work voluntarily at the weekends a lot, unfortunately. And we talk about the system that kind of forces that pressure on us. But to outwardly acknowledge as SLT that, oh, I am directing you to do some work on a Saturday or a Sunday.
No, specifically a Sunday evening.
A Sunday
because
evening,
you get it back in Sunday afternoon, and you've got to make changes by Monday. You're basically saying, I've added a shift.
Yeah. It's directed time now. Sunday evenings, you've got to look through this. Don't worry, though. Some of you might not have to change much.
Yeah.
I've still got to look. Even if I had to change nothing, you're still expecting me to be free enough to look at my email and check it.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable. It's just so ridiculously unacceptable. I can't believe schools are even getting away with it. And you said people commented saying it's normal.
I saw one comment which said, isn't this normal practice? I've been retired for a while. Like, this is what we did all the time.
Just no.
I'm
shocked that I don't know. I can't speak for 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is absolute madness. That is for me. Maybe it's because I personally hate that thing happening so much. That's a red roundabout to me.
No, completely.
I would literally be like, change it or I'm quitting tomorrow. Here's my notice. Genuinely, I'm not working in school like that.
I love how seriously we're using red roundabout now.
I know. It wasn't me. I'm sorry, sir, but this is a red roundabout to me.
So, sorry, what do you mean?
What are you talking about? Oh, it's a Teach Your Repeat podcast. I thought it was a normal term.
Yeah, someone's going to start using this.
This is
do you
a
know
red
what?
roundabout.
They could use it and people won't know what you're talking about. You could say to SLT's face, a bit of a red roundabout, and they'll be like, what?
Yeah. They'll be like, yeah, good banter, not knowing what you're talking about.
I think right now, if you're listening on Spotify, you've got this far, can you just comment red roundabout down the bottom? Just see how many comments we can get. Let's say red roundabout on the Spotify podcast. I think you can kind of split this in half as well. Like we talked about, you can't direct staff to do work at certain times outside of directed hours, right? So by definition, immediately, this is just genuinely against the contract. It's ridiculous. Get in the bin. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If I've got something on a Sunday, I want to, like, imagine you booked like a concert or something.
Yeah.
And it's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So, oh God, bloody hell, I got an email here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris Martin. Sorry, mate. Wait, hold it. Everyone stop. I've got to do my planning right now because I've just been not directed.
And if you didn't know, I'm a teacher.
I'm a teacher.
Everybody.
I work so hard. I'm a teacher. Shush. Shush split. Thank you. Just there. Oh, God, I forgot to put my retrieval logo in the top right corner. Oh, better do that quickly. Right. Cheers, mate. Crack on. Cheers. Insane. So that's one part of it where I think complete red flag.
Yep.
The other part, I'd be more interested maybe like, is it a bit more removed? Is it a bit more towards being acceptable but still weird? Mm-hmm. Planning being marked. Like planning being put in an area and then assessed. Let's say, for example, right? I just changed this and it's put your planning on the area for next week.
Yeah.
We'll look at it over the next couple of days.
Yeah, before your PPA or something.
Yeah, and you'll get your PPA to make changes. I mean, that feels more acceptable to me, but it still feels like a bit of a waste of an SLT's time.
I think so. That to me is more towards neutral because I'm like, it's all within the rules. It's all within like.
But is it in the rules to be forced to put your planning up a week in advance? Because what I would be saying there is like, well, I've not done my planning yet. I've got my PPA. My PPA is when I do my planning.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, the week in advance bit, I actually don't think you can enforce that. Or maybe it's just a union action. But I've heard lots of times in my career that no one can actually force you to share your planning.
Yeah.
Like obviously most people
Yeah.
just do, but
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe with SLT, maybe that's more of a you don't have to share your planning with another teacher. But with
Like,
FSLT,
oh, it's fine because we've got a PPA where you can make your changes. Yeah, but mate, when do you think I do my planning?
Because I actually think that's mad. By the way, I've probably one of the only things I've ever been maybe a bit more on the other side of. I'm like, I think it's well within schools' rights to if they want to have a look at someone's planning for the lessons that can be taught in their school. They should absolutely be able to have a look if they want to.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. But yeah, demanding it a week in advance is a bit like, no, because I quite often, in fact, I never plan like that. Some things I do, but a lot of lessons, particularly maths and English, I'll plan the week before, like right before, like when I've got the most information I could possibly have.
Yeah. And also maybe just when I want to, because I've got the autonomy. Like it's in my contract.
Exactly,
I just want to do it at that point. It works for me.
If I want to do it Sunday night, then I will.
Yeah, completely.
But no one's telling me to do it.
Yeah, completely. I kind of want to link something to this, which was another thing someone wrote in about PPA from home, because it's kind of this idea of like the top down, like on top of you, making sure everything's perfect and checking. Someone wrote in and said, again, it's somewhere, but I remember it. It was they are allowed to take PPA from home, but only if they've met the arbitrary line of confidence or of like what SLT deem as acceptable. And if at any point they fall below that line or SLT feel like they need support, their whole year group has to then have PPA in school. So what ends up happening is like you might be in a school where year 1, year 2, year 4, year 5 have PPA from home, but year 3 and year 6 don't because SLT have deemed that they need support. And then not only have they deemed they need support, therefore can't take PPA from home, they're then saying during PPA, I'm going to come and have a meeting with you for half an hour, for an hour, and go through planning and support is what they say, but clearly directing their PPA.
And again, you can see their line of thought there of that they need support with the planning, so we're going to put the support in. And when obviously we can't support them at the weekend, so we'll support them at school. And the best time to do that is not when they're teaching. It's people. I can see the thought train as to how they've got to that. Funny enough, I literally had a conversation with someone online like weeks ago about a very, very similar situation of it was just one particular member of staff wasn't allowed to take their PPA from home, but others were for the exact same thing. They didn't meet the arbitrary lines. The school wanted to check all their planning. And I was kind of having a mini debate with this person who was pretty much defending SLT and saying, well, it's their prerogative. They can do it if they want.
I mean, to a degree, it's their prerogative because schools can decide whether to have PPA from home or not.
Yeah.
It's the two-tier thing,
But exactly that. It's the two-tier thing. I was like, is it fair to make someone feel like that they can't exercise their right to PPA in the same way as other people in the school? Like, I don't think so. I think PPA is separate. If you think you need to put support in for a member of staff, I think that has to be separate to the PPA is just its own thing. It's like everyone just gets it no matter what. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say if you're a bad teacher, you don't get it or you don't get it in a certain way.
Yeah, exactly. It's
but if you're a good teacher, you do. Like, it's a reward because it links PPA with being a reward, and that just cannot happen.
Yeah, such a good point.
PPA has to be. It's just a sacred bit of time where every teacher, no matter what their skill level or what you think of them, they get 10% out of the classroom, non-teaching time, non-directed. They just get that.
Right.
And if you feel like you need to support that teacher, then you need to put in other things.
Right.
You need to be taking them out of some other teaching time if it's got to be in school time, or if it's within directed time window but a bit before teaching starts or a bit after teaching starts, you have that meeting then. It can't be. You just can't do it. It's so unfair. I'm really, really against the idea of
because then that person, imagine they have that half an hour meeting and maybe it is going through planning and stuff and tweaking it and helping it and stuff. Okay, cool. Maybe that is what it is. Maybe it is really useful.
Yeah.
Maybe the person's agreed to it as well. And they think, actually, I do want you to come. It will be helpful.
And that's fine.
These are all different things.
Yeah.
It's the like overarching from the top down directing of PPA. You can't do it. So if someone turns around and says, no, don't direct my PPA. I've got all of these jobs to do. But if you want to help me in support of my planning, maybe we can book in a time to do it. That's within the scope of my contract. Yeah, I just think it's less of a red flag than what was described, where I'm forcing my staff to every time on a Sunday afternoon do it. But yeah, I mean, for that, it would probably be, if that was happening, what I'd like to see is when people are not affected negatively by a bad policy. Yeah. For example, those people who are allowed to take it from home, but their colleagues aren't, they should be the loudest in that situation. If you work in a school where this happens and you are not the flavor of the month in terms of, SLT are hammering you, I'd love to see support from other people coming in from you. I take it from home, but I understand this could be taken away from me at any point, and that's not really fair.
Yeah.
I want to defend this other person. So I'd like to see more of that as well.
Definitely. A bit of camaraderie.
Exactly.
I like that. This one might make you laugh, to be fair. A bit more in jest. Being told I had to walk backwards when I lead my class to assembly so I could see them at all times. Not allowed to let them lead and me be at the back, where you can obviously still see them. Unfortunately, I'm really clumsy, so you can guess what happened with a laugh emoji. I didn't stay at that school for very long.
Yeah, see, it's interesting that like makes like I think that's because it's indicative, right? The thing we're saying all the time. That on its own, I'd laugh again. I'd be like, no, really, you must do that.
What are the chances if that is a red flag at a school, they don't have any others?
Right, exactly.
That's the way to think about it, isn't it? I'm like, I guarantee that was the straw that broke the camel's back because this was the 9th thing that she thought, oh my God, what
you don't get to that level of micromanagement without having every step before it. It's like, if you're telling your staff that they've got to walk backwards in the hallway when taking kids to the assembly, what do you think that SLT is doing about lessons and planning?
And other things.
Yeah. It's insane.
So it just cracked me up because just the idea of doing that. Yeah, no, you can't walk at the back where you can see the man walk forwards. You have to be at the front walking backwards.
And most schools have the floor plan of a labyrinth, like Pan's Labyrinth, honestly. It's like just there's angles everywhere going around the corner.
Just like, if we're going to be really picky, it's just a safety risk, isn't it? Walking, telling someone to walk and close their eyes. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't accept an SLT coming to you and say, I want you to walk through the corridor, close your eyes though. You're like, no, obviously not, in case I trip over and hurt myself. All right, do it backwards. It's the same thing. You can't see.
Yeah, and have these people taught, like, do you really think that me always looking at my class of 32 children means no one's going to talk ever? Like, really?
Yeah, like,
because my eyes can't actually scope 32 kids at the very same time all the time. It's like, even when I look, this kid's talking and stuff, and I'm just that's not going to teach them, like, oh, my teacher's going, doing the backwards walk. Shh. The backwards walk's on. Shh.
If you moonwalk, is it easier? Maybe.
Yeah, exactly that. All right, last one, and I wanted to finish on this one because it really made me laugh. Maybe you can see why. It's one of the most liked comments.
Okay.
We have to mark books, tests, run after school clubs, call parents, all in our own unpaid time.
Yeah, I see. It's like, it's funny, isn't it? Because I'm assuming they're being sarcastic.
Maybe, but maybe not.
But they could not be that, and that kind of highlights the problem, doesn't it? It was
Exactly.
like, it's just so much stuff we're expected to just do. And it is just technically by the book, it is an unpaid time. Teachers, it all runs off goodwill. Education, it's just, that's why we started this podcast.
Yeah.
We literally started on about striking because it was all about this kind of thing. So
I think honestly, the nature of the job, where there's so much that is completely normalized, even by you and me, even those things mentioned there, you and I worked for however long in a school that I would see that and I'd be like, that's part of my job.
Yep.
That's just part of my job. That's it. Like, it's so normalized. What would in any other profession be? That's weird. Why you asked me to do that?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a red flag, isn't it? To be expected just to do all of this work outside of these hours where I've got to do my main job. That's crazy. Because it's so normalized in teaching, it feels like a lot of schools, not maybe through no fault of their own, sometimes through stretched budgets, through no allocation for people to actually do their right jobs, etc. And sometimes through narcissism. And what we've just talked about today are seeing how far they can pull that line.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the line's already back, and every single teacher, 100% of teachers accept that. Calling parents, marking work, all in our own time. Okay, that's just part of the job.
Yeah.
How far can I pull this line back? It's like, oh, actually, can SLT manage your PPA a bit? I'm just giving you some support. Well, them shoes don't have laces on. That's not good. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Pull it all the way back.
Oh, actually, there's a display rotor now. I'm going to come around and check that. Yeah,
Right.
You've got 1 centimetre borders.
There's a bounty in the bin.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a very good teacher.
Yeah, how many of these things exactly, until it's just like, what on earth is going on?
Yeah, so that's why I like that comment. Basically, it was grounding us to think, no, we can call this stuff out because we already go above and beyond. Every teacher out there, by definition, just from fulfilling the literal job, is already doing more than what they should be doing, and could already, in a lot of professions, argue doing way more than they should, and already being taken advantage of.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So yeah, I'm happy with the gradings we've given all of these flags. Most of them were red flags, let's be honest. But it is true, because they're all considerably more intense and crazy than what we just read there, which Dylan has just said is already above and beyond. So
yeah, had a few red roundabouts as well, didn't we?
We did have a few red roundabouts.
Coined that new term.
I hope this term kicks off.
There was just something about flags, red, roundabout.
Yeah, I don't know what.
No,
but
can't tell.
Wouldn't talk about it.
If you've got this far, absolutely would love a review, right? 5 stars, wherever you're listening to on your podcast. You can join our teacher WhatsApp community down below. You'll only get messages from us. You'll get links to when new episodes have dropped. You'll get polls. You'll get priority access to submitting questions. You can follow us on Instagram at Teach Sleep Repeat Podcast. Do all that good stuff. Hayden, before we finish, any wise words?
I do. Never look into the eye of a fan.
See ya.